The last few weeks have felt heavier than usual for anyone who has followed Savannah Guthrie's career, not because of anything she's said, but because of what she hasn't. Morning television thrives on consistency, on familiar faces and predictable rhythms, and when one of those anchors goes quiet, the absence speaks louder than any statement. Savannah's silence hasn't been dramatic or theatrical. It has been controlled, deliberate, and deeply unsettling in its restraint. Viewers have watched colleagues step in, scripts carry on, and broadcasts remain polished, yet something essential feels missing. It isn't just a co-anchor, it's the emotional center that Savannah quietly provides. In moments like this, people naturally look to those closest to her, especially Hoda Kotb, her longtime partner on and off camera. So when Hoda finally spoke openly, not with spectacle, but with honesty, it landed differently. It wasn't gossip. It felt like permission to finally acknowledge what everyone sensed but couldn't articulate. Hoda Kotb's voice, steady but unshielded Hoda Kotb, has always been known for warmth. But warmth doesn't mean avoidance of hard truths. At 61, she carries a presence shaped by decades of reporting, personal loss, recovery, and reinvention. When she addressed Savannah publicly, there was no dramatization, no performance, just a quiet, grounded truth spoken by someone who has seen the full picture. Hoda didn't frame Savannah as fragile or broken. She framed her as enduring. She spoke about strength that doesn't announce itself, about resilience that doesn't need applause. What stood out most wasn't what Hoda revealed, but how she revealed it. There was care in every word, an understanding that Savannah's story is not hers to expose, only to honor. In doing so, Hoda reminded viewers that real friendship isn't about telling everything. It's about holding space when someone cannot speak for themselves and trusting that silence is sometimes an act of survival. A partnership built beyond television. To understand why Hoda's words carried such weight, you have to understand the history between these two women. Their partnership was never just about ratings or chemistry. It was about trust built over years of early mornings, breaking news, shared failures, and unguarded moments when the cameras stopped rolling. They navigated public scandal, national crises, pandemics, and personal milestones side by side. They learned when to lean in and when to step back. That kind of bond doesn't form quickly, and it doesn't dissolve easily. Hoda has often described their relationship as chosen family, and Savannah has echoed that sentiment in quieter ways. What viewers see on screen is only the surface. Behind it is a relationship shaped by mutual protection, honest confrontation, and deep respect. When Hoda spoke, she wasn't breaking news. She was affirming a bond that has always existed, even when circumstances pull them into different seasons of life. Savannah Guthrie's composure and its cost. Savannah has long been admired for her composure, her ability to remain measured in moments when emotion would be understandable. That calm isn't accidental. It's learned, practiced, and deeply ingrained. Hoda gently acknowledged that strength without romanticizing it. Composure can be armor, but armor is heavy. Savannah's way of moving through the world has always prioritized clarity over chaos, responsibility over release. It serves her well professionally, but it comes at a personal cost. Hoda's words suggested an awareness of that cost, not as criticism, but as compassion. She spoke about strength as something Savannah gives to others instinctively, often without replenishing herself. In moments of crisis, that instinct intensifies. Savannah doesn't fall apart publicly because she's been conditioned to hold things together. Hoda's truth wasn't that Savannah is unbreakable. It was that she shouldn't have to be. Motherhood, legacy, and quiet inheritance. Much of what shapes Savannah exists long before television ever entered her life. Hoda alluded to the influence of family, particularly the kind of upbringing that teaches endurance early and rewards self-control. These lessons aren't inherently harmful, but they can become burdens when life demands vulnerability instead of strength. Savannah carries that inheritance with grace, but also with weight. Hoda spoke carefully about legacy, about how the ways we are loved shape how we show love later. She noted how Savannah parents with tenderness and intention, creating space for emotion where she herself learned restraint. That contrast isn't accidental. It's conscious growth. Yet in moments of uncertainty, old rules resurface. Hoda's reflection suggested that Savannah isn't just navigating the present. She's navigating a lifetime of expectations, honoring the past while trying not to be consumed by it. That tension explains more than silence ever could. Why Hoda spoke when she did timing matters, and Hoda is acutely aware of that. She didn't speak to redirect attention or stir conversation. She spoke because silence, at a certain point, can feel isolating rather than protective. Her words weren't revelations. They were acknowledgments. She recognized that people were watching Savannah's restraint and misinterpreting it as distance or detachment. Hoda corrected that narrative without exposing anything private. She reframed silence as discipline, composure as care, and absence as necessity. By doing so, she shielded Savannah from unfair judgment while respecting her boundaries. It was an act of loyalty. Hoda didn't speak for Savannah. She spoke beside her, offering context without intrusion. That distinction matters. In an industry that often confuses access with entitlement, Hoda modeled what ethical support looks like. She reminded audiences that empathy doesn't require explanations, only understanding. Life after the desk and a different kind of purpose. At 61, Hoda is in a season defined less by proving and more by choosing. Stepping back from daily anchoring wasn't retreat. It was redirection. Her focus on motherhood, mentorship, and storytelling reflects someone who understands that legacy isn't built only on visibility. It's built on impact. Hoda's continued presence in Savannah's life, even off camera, speaks to that. She isn't required to show up publicly, yet she does when it matters. Her words carried authority, not because of her title, but because of her lived experience. Cancer survival, adoption, career reinvention, and personal reinvention have given her a perspective rooted in empathy rather than ego. When she speaks about strength, it isn't theoretical, it's earned. That's why her support of Savannah resonates. It comes from someone who knows what it costs to keep going and what it takes to finally rest. Public curiosity versus private reality. There is a natural hunger for answers when familiar figures step out of view. But Hoda's message quietly challenged that instinct. Not every story is ours to consume in real time. Not every chapter unfolds on schedule. Savannah's absence, Hoda suggested, is not a mystery to be solved, but a boundary to be respected. In an age where vulnerability is often demanded rather than offered, choosing privacy can feel radical. Hoda didn't shame curiosity, but she redirected it toward compassion. She invited viewers to trust that strength can look like stillness and that love doesn't always announce itself. By speaking carefully, she reminded the public that real lives don't follow broadcast pacing. They unfold unevenly, privately, and often without resolution on cue. That reminder feels especially important now, when speculation travels faster than truth, and silence is too easily misread as weakness. What remains when the cameras fade? What lingers after Hoda's words isn't a secret or a revelation. It's a deeper understanding of two women navigating life beyond their roles. Savannah is not disappearing. She is enduring. Hoda is not revealing. She is protecting. Their story, at its core, is about chosen family, inherited strength, and the quiet courage it takes to pause without apology. When Savannah returns, she will likely do so with the same composure she's always carried. But perhaps because of voices like Hoda's, she won't have to carry it alone. The truth Hoda shared wasn't dramatic. It was human. And in a media landscape addicted to spectacle, that kind of truth feels rare. Sometimes the most powerful thing one person can do for another is speak gently into the noise and remind the world that strength doesn't disappear when it steps out of view.